All right, so should we get started? You want me to get started? All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our 2020 Pathway Caring for Children. It's all about the kids virtual fundraising event. My name is Wendy Tracy. I'm the Executive Director of Pathway Caring for Children, and thank you for joining us today. Today, Pathway helps over 1,000 children and families to achieve the possibilities of their lives. We rescue, we nurture, and we launch the children in our care. We come to the rescue of a child who lies awake at night, fearing sleep, the newborn whose mother's drug use causes custody to be taken at birth, the infant who has been neglected, left alone in their crib for hours instead of being cuddled or nurtured. 14 Northeast Ohio counties rely on Pathway to provide loving foster homes to parents who we have recruited, trained, and continue to support. We help nurture the development of these children by helping each foster and adoptive family support the child in their care to overcome the trauma they have experienced. We do this by providing individual, group, and family counseling, wrapping the child in supportive services. We currently have 100 children in foster care homes, a record-setting number, one we wish was smaller. And finally, we launch our children into a successful life after foster care through programming that provides them for independence, and independence that comes for most at the age of 18 when they age out of foster care system and are on their own, truly on their own at 18. As of today, we are serving 33 Bridges young adults. 9 are in college, 6 in high school, and 18 are working. 47 years ago, Jim and Velma Bridges started Pathway with just 6 boys in a group home. Today, their dream of having a happy, healthy home for every child has greatly expanded. With all that we have done, there is more to do. There are 16,154 children in foster care in the state of Ohio, 7,200 licensed foster homes. We are in desperate need of foster parents. We receive on average 50 referrals of foster placement each week, 50 referrals. This is a problem across the country, not just here, and we know that is not a funding problem. How do you buy parents? It is one where we need to find people with room in their hearts for a child. If you cannot see a full-time commitment fitting into your life, maybe providing respite care for a weekend or more a month would be something that would fit into your heart to do so. Respite fostering is like being a grandparent, a rewarding contribution to the children and foster parents. We are thrilled when an adoption is finalized and wish the best for the new and permanent family. If those families find a need to help raise a child from a hard place, our counseling and support groups are here to provide the help and support needed to preserve children's forever home. Our support groups are free to those that need them, and we serve more with your help. Our foster adoption services are one of a kind in Northeast Ohio. Please spread the word to anyone that you may know who is raising an adoptive child or has a kinship custody arrangement with a child. There is need for more and better mental health services. Our staff is trauma-informed in all we do. Our counselors offer a trust-based relational intervention approach that we know works. Many of us use it in our own families. We serve community, foster, and adoptive children. If you know a child or family in need of counseling, please let them know Pathway is here for them. Our foster children have moved from home to home to home, missing many of the life's basic lessons that they need. Pathway's independent living program provides children ages 12 and up with the life lessons they have missed. For older teens, we help them to obtain the skill they need for independent living, whether they are getting their GED, finding employment, financial management skills, a place to live, as well as practicing decision-making skills, building a support network, community resources. We are also a State of Ohio Bridges provider, working with young adults who are just out of foster care to help them stand on their own 2 feet. Our case managers provide these young adults, often with children of their own, a continued needed support and advice they need as this transitional period in their lives. We help to get them on the right path. This is the work I have been doing for around 26 years of my life. I am committed to Pathway children and to their well-being. I live in a world with lots of supports. I have a 16-year-old daughter of my own. She is getting everything that she wants, but certainly she doesn't get everything that she wants. She doesn't get everything that she wants, but she certainly doesn't go without what she needs either. I live in a world that says yes to my child, that welcomes her to cheer lessons, a new homecoming dress, driver's training. It is sadly obvious to me that this same world does not offer the same possibilities to our Pathway children. I live in a world where my daughter has a support system to help her over life's hurdles. Her father and I, my parents, are all paying close attention and ready to get her any help that she might need. And we have lots of good advice for her too. In this same world, a child gripped with mental health issues, attachment disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and many other diagnoses of our foster children and so many other children in our schools may be left to fend for themselves, wondering why they don't feel like other kids and have no one to get them to the help that they need. Most of us live in a world that is very different from the world of our foster children and children who struggle with behavioral needs and family dysfunction. Our children live in a world very different than our Pathway children. I am so grateful to the world I live in with my family and so heartbroken by the other. You and I live in a world of hope, dreams, of opportunity. I want our Pathway children who come from hard places in life to be able to dream, to have hope for a forever happy life. But I also want the world to change. I want the end of child abuse and child neglect. I want the end to need of children to come to foster care. I want for the hard places of our children to come from to disappear. And I hope that after spending time with caseworkers in therapy sessions, I hope that children we have helped feel loved, cared for, and worthy, because they are. Our lives, yours and mine, are capable of great joy and meaning. I think that is what we are here for today. I think there is great capacity in this Zoom meeting. I think we have the capacity to love and protect our children, even those whose names we do not know and faces that we do not see. Please help Pathway say yes to all of them. We need you. They need you. Thank you for being here today. Now, I would like to introduce you to one of our young adults. Alana recently completed Pathways Bridges program for young adults aged 18 to 21 who have aged out of foster care. Pathways Bridges liaisons help these young adults find safe housing, employment, apply for college or trade school, or other valuable life skills. When Alana was young, her mother became too ill to take care for her, and Alana moved in with her grandmother. At the age of 14, after being raised by her grandmother for 7 years, Alana was placed in foster care. Alana was fortunate to stay in one foster home, and she considers her foster mom a second mother. Her foster mom is still a support to her today. Let's listen now to a quick video Alana put together, share how her loving foster mom and support from Pathway gave her the drive and the confidence needed to blossom into a successful young adult.
Hello, my name is Alana Watkins. I'm 21 years old. I recently graduated from Walsh University with my bachelor's in communication and digital media track and a minor in film studies. And then I started a position at Stark County Association of Realtors as a communication administrator. I've got to say, 2020 has been a whirlwind year for all of us, but 2019 was definitely a lot worse for me. You see, I had just come back from a mission trip with Walsh University from Rome, and I was in a financial hole that I could not find a light at the end of the tunnel. My car was was breaking down and I needed 4 new tires. I was eating bologna sandwiches, and I was sinking myself into a pile of debt that every single time I tried to make a payment on, I got hit with another bill. I'm definitely someone who is extremely prideful in the fact that I try to take care of myself first, and I am extremely independent. So when I had an opportunity to grow and prosper, of course I took that opportunity, but it wasn't without hesitations. At that time, I had reached out to my independent living worker, and I explained my situation to her. And she said, Alana, why didn't you reach out to me sooner? We could have helped you. And I honestly couldn't answer that question at that moment because I let my pride cloud my vision. And she had been asking me to join the Bridges program for a year, and I had told her constantly, no, I won't join the program, or maybe I'll join next year. And truth be told, I feel like it was because I was afraid of asking for help. Once I joined the Bridges program, it allowed me to prosper in ways that I can't describe. My Bridges liaison, Capri Ridley, she was able to help me find a program that would be able to and eventually help me find my current career. She was able to help me find an apartment and pay for my bills, so I got a little bit of a leg up. She helped me clear out my debt that had already accrued over my time before I even graduated college, and she was also a mentor to me. Capri inspired me in ways that I can't describe, and she was always my #1 cheerleader. And whenever I felt like I couldn't do it, she was always right behind me saying, Alana, if you just put your head to it and you cut out all the negativity around your life, I know you can do it. And with that, she also provided me a lot of emotional support through other foster kids. We had meetings where we'd have counseling and we'd just talk to each other and just explain things. We would eat spaghetti and we'd have all kinds of dinners. And it honestly made me feel like I wasn't as alone as I was. Without the Bridges program, who knows where I would be, but I definitely know that I wouldn't be as successful as I am now. During the time that I was in the Bridges program, I got my very first apartment that I was able to furnish fully. And every single time something broke down, I knew that I had help so I could get ahead in life. Not only did I get my own apartment, but I got engaged, and I also got the support I needed emotionally when I was able to rely on my Bridges liaison when I felt like I was at my lowest. If it wasn't for Capri, the Bridges program, and the donors, I wouldn't have anything that I have around me. I wouldn't have my couch to sit on, I wouldn't have food to eat, and I wouldn't have the support that I needed. I know that at some point in time, I had to tell myself, it's okay to let your pride down in order to get stronger and grow. And that's something that I feel like a lot of foster kids cannot do. I grew up in a household where my father lived in a different state, and my mother was extremely ill, so my grandmother was my only support system. I already had an extremely well-founded role model through my grandmother as she persevered through everything to make sure that my siblings and myself had everything we needed. But I was afraid to ask my grandma for help because I always found that she was doing everything for me, but I couldn't do anything for her. Without the Bridges program, I wouldn't have been able to let down my walls and say, I can't rely on my grandmother, but I can rely on other people. And there were a lot of people who were able to help me that I haven't even met yet. And I would just like to extend my gratitude and my thanks to you because, again, I would not be here without you. I don't think I would have been able to achieve my degree. I wouldn't be able to pursue my career goals, and I wouldn't be able to even be able to eat. I would still be that little girl eating bologna sandwiches every week. And so from my deepest and sincerest heart, I would like to say thank you so much for being my support system. I really do appreciate everything you've done for me, and I hope that one day I will be able to contribute to the world, to current and former foster children as much as you.
Hi, my name is Paula Gates, and I have the privilege of introducing you to the shepherds who I've worked with, and here's their video.
Hi, I'm Ruth Ann Shepard.
Curtis Shepard, Kirk Rashort.
Lizzie Shepard.
Jasmine Hope Shepard. We started fostering for Summit County when I was a premature baby and we couldn't have any more children, so we decided that if adoption was the way we could add to our family, that's what we were going to do. And so we fostered for about 12 years and fostered quite a few children in that time. But because we couldn't have more children, we decided to go ahead and adopt. So at this point, we have 5 adopted children. Our oldest is 33. We have twins that are 25, and Jasmine's 12, and Lizzie is 7.
Jasmine and Lizzie are our granddaughters.
Right. They're granddaughters. ours that needed some permanency, and we had spent a lot of time, Jasmine had spent a lot of time with us as an infant and toddler and little girl, so it was just natural for them to just become, part of our family every day. Okay, we had adopted quite a few children, and our 3 older children needed quite a few services. They were all 3 special needs with mental health issues, and it was very difficult to find counseling services and agencies who could work with us and help us. We didn't know what we needed because we hadn't had that kind of support, and we worked with different county and court agencies and different things. And at kind of our lowest point, when we didn't know if our family was going to stay intact because of all that, I was given a list of 5 agencies to call to see if they could help us. And I called each one, and I think Pathway was the 5th one on the list. And as I was getting more discouraged as I made the phone calls, because the first 4 were not anything even close to what we could do. It was either the child that we needed help for at the time needed to be court ordered, or it was a huge amount of money that no family can afford, or there was a waiting list 6 months long or whatever. And when I called Pathway, I knew nothing about Pathway Caring for Children, and I made the phone call, and Paula Gates answered the phone, and it was just the turning point for our family.
I was just going to say, I think a lot of agencies don't understand the issues involved with adopting kids, especially kids that are a little older. They don't understand the attachment issues and the abandonment issues, even for young children, infants. They don't understand, but Pathway does.
We see the whole picture of everybody, from the kids no matter what age to what the family needs. And the first thing I remember with Paula was that she used the word hope, and she was very positive and very encouraging that whatever happens, whatever has happened, there's still a way for your family to survive and have a relationship with the kids as they were becoming young adults.
My mother did a very bad thing to me and Jasmine, and we weren't allowed to be with them. So that's why my grandma and grandpa adopted us.
Right.
When you're a foster kid, you just try to hide everything. You don't want to tell anyone anything because you're scared and you're worried about stuff. And you're not sure what's going to happen to you. Are you going to get adopted by someone, or are you just going to keep going from foster home to foster home or group home to group home? You have no idea what's going to happen next. When someone adopts you, it's like, yay, I'm free. You know that you're going to stay in the same place for a while and have a bunch of friends. And know that you can trust someone to be there for you.
Wow, what a great opportunity to be able to work with this family. Again, this is Paula Gates, and I've worked with Pathway for over 30 years. And for most of that time, I've worked with adoptive families and kinship families. So let me tell you a little bit more about the Shepherds. It was 14 years ago that Ruth Ann shared about getting in touch with Pathway, and I met her then, and we were able to help she and Kurt through some rough difficulties with their twins who were 16. And then 10 years ago, actually it was October 1st, 2010, there was a terrible tragedy. And the girls were living with their birth mom in Missouri. That's Lizzie and Jasmine. And Jasmine had been thrown into a toilet and cracked her head open. Ambulance was called, and they rushed her to the hospital. And on the way there, they had to revive her. She almost didn't make it. Jasmine had to go into foster care, and Ruth Ann and Kurt rushed out to see what they could do to help in Missouri. Ended up that Ruth Ann stayed out there 5 months with Lizzie. I look at Lizzie now, but Lizzie recovering, she was almost 3 then. And Jasmine was 5 years older, about 8. And so during these 5 months, Lizzie had lots of surgeries, head surgeries, and involved in lots of professionals trying to help her to be the best that she could get. The prognosis along the way is they thought she'd be a vegetable, that she wouldn't be able to walk or talk or feed herself, and things didn't look that great. But then after the 5 months, she had improved greatly, was ready to go home, and she and Jasmine went home with Ruth Ann and Kurt to be adopted in Ohio. And so then back at home in Ohio, we find Lizzie still was developmentally delayed, having trouble with her anger, being regulated, trouble making friends, and a lot of difficulty at school learning. And Jasmine, she talked a little bit about fear. Well, she's definitely a child coming from fear and distrust, very hypervigilant, had difficulty expressing her feelings, letting people get close. She'd always push them away, hard time making friends, and she had some difficulties in school as well. The family did know where to go for help. They went to Pathway, and Jasmine was involved in therapy and actually was involved with the same therapist for almost 10 years now. And her grandma says that's been a real lifeline for Jasmine. Jasmine also has gone to Trust Camp, where she's been with other peers and adults that have been able to help her to learn how to get along with others and trust. Lizzie has been in therapy and had case management, and our staff at Pathway were able to help with interventions at school and to help Lizzie build some coping skills. Parents, of course, have gotten ongoing support from professionals who understand adoption and kinship. And I'm thankful at Pathway that we have that specialty. Let me share today, Lizzie just turned 13 this month and is in 7th grade. She still has a lot of professionals involved with her. She has 14 professionals, from occupational therapy, speech therapy, psychiatrist, neurologist, Pathway therapist. But I will tell you that she definitely walks, she feeds herself, and she talks a lot. Currently, her grandma was just telling me that she's getting A's and B's at school, which is amazing. She gets the help that she needs to be able to do that. She's handling her anger better, and she's really feeling better about herself. Jasmine just turned 18. She's a senior in high school. Her program at high school is graphic design and photography, and she plans to go to Akron U next year to major in those subjects. She got on the honor roll recently, not just the merit roll, but the honor roll this time of 3.7 or above. She's made a new friend recently, which that still has been a hard thing for Jasmine. Recently, Ruth Ann, her grandma, had surgery, and Jasmine told her she loved her and said, "Who would I talk to if I didn't have you, Grandma?" And that's just a lot of progress there, just being able to express her feelings. So hearing from what Grandma says, I talked to Ruth Ann recently, and she says that that Pathway has made her feel like family, that they've been encouraging, they listened to the parents, and she wouldn't go to any other agency. And she says she wouldn't be where she is today. Her family would not be where they are today if it wasn't for Pathway. So how awesome to be able to be involved with this family, looking forward to a positive future and just walking alongside with them through this journey of trauma to healing. And so I'm just so glad that I could be involved with that family.
Well, it goes without saying that Alana, we're so proud of your success. And the Shepherds, Ruth Ann, Curtis, Jasmine, and Lizzie, and Paula, thank you for sharing your moving stories with us. It provides a significant window into the lives of those whose lives are changed at Pathway because of Pathway. Alana, you're truly a testament to the resiliency of the human spirit. And Ruth Ann and Curtis, you illustrate the power of love in the lives of children who need a safe place to heal and grow. What a beautiful testament to that love we saw today in Jasmine and Lizzie. Thank you to all of you for sharing your evidence of what it means to be a part of the Pathway Caring for Children family. I'm Diane Schultz, and I'm a Pathway board member. I joined the cause, I can't believe it's been almost 6 years now, because I'm passionate about providing help and hope to children who come from life's hard places. All children deserve a chance. I've seen firsthand the positive difference Pathway makes in the lives of children and teens and in the lives of those who care for them. With the message from Wendy and the personal stories of Alana and the Shepherds, we hope you have learned more about the services and programs offered by Pathway and trust you see what a vital role we play. It's a great privilege for me to be a part of this organization. So many of us came from privileged homes, and yet there are so many children out there that need help, that don't have that blessing of coming from a privileged background. We want to thank all of you who have joined us today, who already support us in so many ways. We're thrilled to have you here. We're also so grateful to those of you who are here to learn more about Pathway. We hope we've inspired you. When you agreed to join this virtual event, many of you may not have known what's needed by the organization for ongoing financial support. Maybe you came because you were already familiar with our organization. Possibly someone encouraged you to log in and see what this cause is all about. Now that you've heard the full story about Pathway Caring for Children and what we'd like to accomplish, it's my privilege to ask you to make a financial investment in our ongoing success for the kids. It's not just an investment in Pathway as an organization. It's truly an investment in our future, the lives of children. And it is one of the most important and meaningful investments that anyone can make. When the board considered our greatest needs as an organization, the most critical need is financial support for day-to-day operations. Your support and commitment will ensure that we can continue to provide our children with hope and healing. We trust it will also warm your heart to know that you're having an impact where it's needed most. Today, we're asking you to consider a meaningful donation to Pathway. If you have been moved and inspired by what you've heard today, and you would like to support the ongoing operating needs of Pathway Caring for Children, we invite you to become a monthly or an annual donor. Please go to the chat and you will see the link to our contribution page. Please click on the link and make your choice for how you can financially support Pathway today. Your contribution will go toward the unrestricted operating funds of Pathway Caring for Children. A significant gift of $10,000 will provide support to teens and young adults like Alana in the Independent Living Bridges programs that prepare and support foster youth as they age out of the foster care system and then as they are on their own in the world, completely independent far too soon. I can't imagine being 18 years old and not having a support system. A $5,000 gift will provide post-adoption support to families who make the lifetime commitment to a child, like the Shepherds. This is a unique niche of our staff trained in trust-based relational intervention and available to anyone who has an adopted or kinship child in their family, struggling with adjusting their past experiences with their present. A gift of $1,000 allows us to increase our commitment to our caring and devoted staff who work around the clock to meet the needs of the foster and community children and families who are in our care. Hard work done by those committed to working with kids from hard places. Consistency of staff is essential to these kids who have already had unimaginable loss in their lives. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts for whatever gift you're able to give from your abundance. I thank you on behalf of the children and families whose lives you will change. If you would like to contribute in other ways, volunteering or any other ideas you have, please make a note in the chat that you would like to discuss other ways that you can give. A member of our community engagement staff will be happy to be in touch with you to follow up. Please know that whatever you have given today includes the gift of your time. We sincerely appreciate your support for the children's, teens, and families served by your generosity. You make the difference. We're going to give you a few minutes now to finish filling out the donate link. Whatever you decide to do today, please add your name and contact information to allow us to stay connected after today. We really appreciate your time and consideration. Now we're going to wrap up. We've recorded today's It's All About the Kids virtual event. We will share the link with you and really hope that you'll pass it along to others who might be interested in the work that's being done in our community for children and families in great need. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you for your support of Pathway Caring for Children.